Get ready, Staten Island.
The Ferry Hawks host the Hagerstown Flying Boxcars. Today, it's a doubleheader starting at 4 p.m. with Jewish Heritage Night. As for this game, the Ferry Hawks will play as the Staten Island Menches. Friday at 7 p.m., it's soccer night, and kids glow around the bases postgame. Saturday at 6:30, it's Broadway night with postgame fireworks and Broadway rave. Sunday at 1:30, it's Military Appreciation Day, and the kids run around the bases.
Visit ferryhawks.com now to lock in your seats.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
My son is no murderer. My son didn't intend to hurt anyone. My son was defending himself. And that's what hurt so bad.
35 years for a kid who had decided to go under a tent that was not his team's tent as it was raining, and simply didn't want to be put out in the rain by some random kid that he didn't know who was larger than him. Listen, a lot of people don't know what it is to live as a black person in this country, but just like you can give the benefit of the doubt to so many police officers when they go out and they shoot some black unarmed person, even though they are trained, the fact that there was little to no mercy seen or humanity seen when this black boy said that I was scared.
The arguments continue, ladies and gentlemen, over Karmelo Anthony. James Golden, Bo Snerdley here with you. And here we are on the Thursday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour, fastest hour in American media. I did a deep dive on this Karmelo Anthony story today because I've been hearing so many things about it, and we're going to get to it. Iran in the news, President Trump in the news. By the way, yesterday, failed to mention that Nancy Mace was booted out of politics for the time being, came in a disastrous last-place finish in the South Carolina primary. So we have that. Also, it is just, there's a lot of news concerning Mark Wayne Mullen today and a presser that was held with Attorney General Todd Blanche. Stunning bombshells to me that came out that won't be considered bombshells, I guess, by the mainstream press because it deals with something they don't want to talk about, which is illegal immigrant children that were lost during the Biden administration and what their fate has been. So all of that and more. But on this Karmelo Anthony, there is so much. I asked and went through the record on why the situation took place in the first place. Frisco Memorial High School did not set up a tent at a track meet. That is the high school. Well, no, Frisco Memorial did set up a tent. The Centennial High School, which was Anthony's school, did not have a tent. Why is that important in all of this? Because tents are considered to be the headquarters of whatever school you are at. Students change in there. They use it as their privacy. So it started to rain, and Karmelo Anthony, according to testimony, went into another team's tent to dodge the rain because his school did not set up a tent. Now, whose fault is it that his school did not set up a tent? I don't know why they didn't, but they didn't have one. A heavy rain shower happened. Karmelo Anthony's school did not have a tent, Centennial High School, so he went into the tent of a rival team. Now, what happens in high school when you go inside a private area of your opponent. They're not going to like that. Now, whether they should have been open and said, oh, yeah, it's raining, so it doesn't matter. Okay, I can see that there would be an argument to be made for that, but no, he was asked to leave. Now, his defense team said he went in there to specifically sit down and chat with a friend, but it's a rival team. He was not welcome there by most of the other team. That is a violation of the culture. A home team, a team views it as their home base, as their private locker room. Metcalf and other students reportedly asked him to leave multiple times. Witnesses testified that Karmelo Anthony became very defensive. He started mocking the students. He allegedly used profanity, called the rival team names who in the tent where he had come into, and taunted them. Kept telling them, you're going to have to move me. As an argument developed, he reached in his backpack and just kept saying, touch me and find out. So he's going to go gangster on him. He was pushed. The moment he was pushed, he pulls a knife out and stabs Metcalf. Now, to hear people like Jasmine Crockett and Cardi B, who's had a long extended rant, say it, Karmelo Anthony was, he was in the right, nothing, no problem, he did everything right. No. We live in an age where I would call it the confrontation culture. You see it every day. If you are on social media, you cannot help but see it every day. The confrontation culture. And what does that culture look like? You have people, grown men mostly, standing in all sorts of public places doing horrendous things. They're standing, walking up to people's cars, filming their license plates, filming their vehicle identification numbers, their VIN numbers on their car. They're going to people where they're going into doctor's offices or coming out of doctor's offices, coming out of airports, coming out of gas, and they're violating their private. They're violating a sense of privacy that does not exist because they're in a public place and they have a First Amendment right to be there. They challenge the police officers. They call police officers horrible names. If someone says, why are you filming me? They get into conflicts with them. They do it all for clickbait so that they can then post the videos of the confrontations online and make money from them. If you look at what has happened at the ICE headquarters, you see in Delaney Hall, in other places, you see confrontations. Everywhere you look these days, especially involving minors of a certain age, too, you see confrontation. Confrontation sells. And then you put into it other factors. You have a black kid in Texas, and I don't know how many of the other students of the other track team were black. I don't care. It doesn't matter. But it does matter in a way because then you go in with this, what I call the gangster culture, and we've talked about this. I'm a badass. You're not going to say anything. I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to mouth you. I've got a weapon. Screw you. Screw whatever it is. And you go in with an attitude of confrontation. And something horrible happened as a result. And now there's all the aftermath of it. Now, according to people like Cardi B, Jasmine Crockett, tons of people online, we live in a racist society because, and everything is racist. The whole episode is racist. The jury system is racist because a kid, a black young man, has been now sentenced to spend 35 years in jail because he murdered another person. And on top of it, outside of the courtroom, we heard things like F white lives, F this. So now it's turned into a horrible, ugly racial conflict. You know what was missing through all of this? Good manners. Good manners. What if instead of all this, the kid just came in and said, listen, guys, I know our team doesn't have it. Would you guys mind if I just stand here to get out of the rain for a few minutes? Do you think that those kids would have reacted the way you did instead of coming off like a little gangster? Do you think that had just asked politely, do you think this would have happened? Do you think if they asked him to leave and he said, I apologize for being here. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to stay dry for a few minutes, guys. Would it be all right? Does it make him sound a little humble? Yeah. Do you think the other kids would have really been ugly to him if he did not have an attitude toward them, and instead of using profanity, allegedly, and mocking them and calling them names, the attitude was different? Do you think that would have escalated where it was? Do you think that there was a way out of this instead of the aggression? Do you think we could all do with a little less confrontation in society at large? I can't, and I'm not pointing my finger at this kid just to say, oh, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. Look, I grew up in the confrontation society too. Somebody cuts you off on the road being stupid, you know. Yeah, sometimes you go with a road rage on it. You effing this, that, and the other. Or someone ticks you off, jumps your place in line, does something. The reaction is not automatically, let me back off. We have been conditioned to be confrontational in the face of bull crap. And maybe what we need to do is reassess life, especially in this age of social media, in the confrontation society that we live in. I don't have all the answers here. I'm not pretending to, but I do know that this did not have to happen, and it did happen. And one young man who apparently was a decent kid, now his life is gone. He will never have his chance at a full life. And another young man who, despite everything else, did not appear to be a bad kid, a thug, a person that he was on a track team. He was going to school, comes from a two-parent home, whose parents obviously care and love about him and have not, and feel badly for him. But now his life, the trajectory of his life is now changed. It doesn't mean that he will have a horrible life, because he will still be a relatively young man when he gets out of prison if he survives that experience. But man, this culture that we live in, there is something very toxic about it.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Roger Stone here. Your dollars are losing ground, but gold isn't. American Sovereign Bullion helps you protect your wealth through real, tangible assets. Through their nationwide wholesaler network, you get some of the best pricing on gold and silver delivered straight to your door. Since 1912, the U.S. dollar has lost 97% of its purchasing power. Meanwhile, gold continues to prove its strength. So call 844-272-2428. That's 844-272-2428. Or visit dyingdollar.com to request your free gold and silver guide. That's dyingdollar.com.
The James Golden Show.
Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Okay, a few other things, looking at the clock very quickly. Let us get to cut 7 very quickly, and I'll have more to say about this. This is Attorney General Todd Blanche.
To say that it was encouraged, though, is quite a charge. I mean, what evidence do you have of that?
What evidence of what?
To say that it was encouraged, this behavior, is quite a charge.
Well, you can insert whatever word you want. I said encourage. If you know there's a problem and you're in a position of leadership to stop it and you don't stop it, what word should I use? I mean, I use the word encouraged. If it isn't as if this was a single-day problem. You have a situation that happened over a number of years. They knew it was happening. It was brought to their attention it was happening, and they didn't do anything to stop it. As a matter of fact, when you look at the end of 2024, and there were 300,000, like you just think in your mind that number that number of young children, and then we had no idea where they were in this country. I mean, that's I continue to use the words encourage. So
this is this question from a reporter questioning the Attorney General Todd Blanche because he said that the Biden administration encouraged missing children across these children. 300,000 illegal children let in, released. Nobody knows where they are. And the reports of what happened to some of these children is totally outrageous. Totally outrageous. The reporter well, do you think that you should be using the words encouraged? They encouraged it? Well, yeah. They left the borders wide open. They encouraged undocumented minors to come in. In fact, it was a huge story at the time. They encouraged it. But you have a Washington press corps that are off their rocker. What they focus on is, do you think it's fair you should be using the word encouraging rather than what actually happened to 300,000 minor children under the Biden administration? Don't go away, folks. Coming right back.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The James Golden Show.
Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
This is going to be difficult for some of you to listen to. We played Todd Blanche in the reception from the reporter. Do you really think it's fair that do you really think that you should use the word encourage, that the Biden administration encouraged this behavior? Well, DHS Secretary Mullen went further into it. This cut runs almost 3 minutes. I'm going to beg your indulgence to be patient, but he covers a lot of ground here. That's cut 8, and this deals with the over 300,000 children that were lost 300,000 of them during the Biden administration.
You know, I tell people that I haven't quit smiling since I've been Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, but I have to take that back because when we start digging into these cases and you start hearing the absolute horrific things that took place underneath the Biden administration, under true neglect at best and criminal at worst, to allow 450,000 kids to go missing throughout this country. President Trump has made it a point to go find these kids. And because of our partnership with HHS and DOJ, Department of Homeland Security, truly using the best of the best, which the Democrats sometimes want to demonize because a lot of times this is ICE, this is HSI, this is CBP. These individuals that the Democrats seem to want to defund, but because of President Trump, we finally funded them for 3 years. We're able to push and go find these kids. We found 146,000 kids so far.
146,000
kids
have been found.
We still have nearly 300,000 missing.
300,000 still
investigating
missing.
Reports to where some of these kids claim that they were raped 600 to 700 times. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you have kids, if you don't have kids. I don't care if you're a liberal, you're independent, you're a Democrat, you're a Republican. If you can't stand for law enforcement to go find these kids, who are you? Who are you? Every leader should understand what's going on. And do you know where we're finding the most of them? Sanctuary cities. Because they know they're safe. That's why they're called sanctuary cities. Because of President Trump's leadership, we're going into those sanctuary cities. We have mayors like Mandami in New York who want to say you're not welcome. As a mayor, he knows what's happening on the streets. He knows who he's harboring, and at this point in abating. By saying that we can't go operate, we're going to. We're going to go find the worst of the worst. We're going to rescue as many kids as we possibly can. We're going to enforce our nation's laws, and we're going to right the wrongs that the Biden administration turned a blind eye to.
Now, again, keep in mind, a reporter chided the Attorney General for saying the Biden administration encouraged this. A total of 450,000, almost 500,000, 450,000 minors lost after they immigrated to the United States of America. The Trump administration has found 146,000 children that were lost. Found them. And there are still 300,000 minors that are lost. Reports came in among the 146,000 minor children that were found. Some of the children have reported they have been raped up to 600 and 700 times, meaning they have been raped in some cases multiple times a day, or almost every day since the Biden administration. Their life has been sex slaves. Children, they have been raped 600, 700 times. From their reports, since they have been trafficked, came into the country by the Biden administration. And what do we have? We have a Washington, D.C. reporterette asking the Attorney General, should you be using the word, should you be saying that the Biden administration encouraged this? Encouraged? Is that the right word to use? Encouraged? She is miffed and horrified that the Attorney General, this reporterette in D.C., used the word that the Biden administration encouraged this when they lost 450,000 children. Some of them, after being found, now saying that they have been raped between 600 and 700 times. This is insane. It's insanity. I'm going to talk more about this on the weekend show. I want to get to something that folks, it's heartbreaking and it's insanity. I want to get to something before we go today that we did not get to yesterday. Democrats, including Hakeem Jeffries, are saying that, Trump, and they report this regularly on the mainstream press. Trump, without evidence, says that the California elections were without evidence. Without evidence. Trump says the California elections were rigged. Without evidence. You hear that all the time. There was a man on the street interview in Los Angeles with multiple homeless people. Cut 22. And this, in the words of the homeless people themselves, describing their experiences in this past election, where, by the way, votes are still being counted in corrupt California.
So they say, oh, do you want to vote for Karen or Nithya? Or they just really just tell you to vote for Karen, huh?
They was really voting her, man.
Did you vote?
Yeah.
Oh, you did for Karen Bass?
Yeah.
Down here and try and pay you to vote?
Yes. Karen Bassett. That's her last name, Bassett?
Karen Bass, yeah. Or Nithya Raman?
Karen.
Karen? They told you to vote for Karen?
Yeah. They had to sign a little thing.
And how much they pay you?
It was like $2.
$2? Oh, to sign off on a thing to vote for her?
Yeah.
Oh, on a ballot?
Yes.
Oh, how much they pay you?
$5.
Oh, and they said, here, come and vote for these candidates?
Yes, sir.
They told you who to vote for?
Yeah.
Wow. So they told you to vote for Karen Bass or Nithya Raman?
Karen Bass.
Did you vote for Karen Bass?
Yeah.
For $5?
Yeah.
They gave you an optional choice, but they tell you who they want to vote for.
Oh, they tell you who you want to vote for. So like, yo, we'll give you $2, but you got to vote for one of these people.
Well, you know, I'm a barter, man. So I got $4.
You got what?
$4.
$4?
$4.
$4? Oh,
yeah. I don't. You know, since I'm voting your way, can I get a plate? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so $4, they're like, hey, you got to vote for one of these candidates, not Spencer. You do Karen or Nithya.
Yeah, well, it was that was Bass's one for me. I mean, that was the one I was suggested for. I don't give a fuck.
Got it. And you're like, yo, give me $4 and I'll do it.
Yeah, why not? Sure.
And so they do this for everybody out here?
Yeah, they come out here all the time.
How often do they come down here?
Probably like 3 times a week.
3 times a week? To get the ballots?
Yeah.
Wow. And so you know other people too that voted too?
Actually, anybody that's registered.
Yeah.
You know, half of them up down on parole probation, but you know how it is. You know.
Man, it's crazy. I see people
today, man. It's crazy.
The way it is down here now.
That's the way it is down here. You know, yeah, I'm a botter, man. I got $4, man. I got like $4 for my vote for Karen Bass. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, you know, I know how to bother with these people. How many times they come out? Come here 3 or 4 times a week. So you're going to, so these people have people coming down homeless 3 or 4 times a week. 3 or 4 times a week, paying them $2, $3, $4 if you really know how to barter and bargain. And one woman got $5 for her vote, or one $5. Paying people, we got you sign the paper. Sign the paper. What's the paper? The ballot is what they're talking about. And you are telling us that there is no ballot fraud. You are telling us that this whole ballot harvesting scheme is everything's on the up and up in California? No, everything is not on the up and up in California. And if they're coming back time after time, how many times do you think people have voted more than once? I'm just asking. Well, you know they have to be registered. So what's stopping people from registering with different names? Because there's no check on voter ID and then signing different times. This whole thing is a corrupt sham. And you cannot tell me that some internet guy can find out and walk the streets of L.A. and find out, and that the L.A. officials, elected Democrats, don't know what's going on. Somebody's paying them. Where does the money come from to pay these people?
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The James Golden Show.
Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
I got a text, ladies and gentlemen, from the Countess of Conspiracy regarding the over 450,000 lost children, of which the Trump administration has found 146,000. Among those 146,000 children lost during the Biden administration, illegal immigrants, many have reported that they have been raped. Some of these children up to 600 and 700 times. This is not front page news for some strange reason in America. The same people that went on and on about Epstein and children and this, that, and the other don't seem to be the least bit interested in this story. The note that I got from the Countess of Conspiracy says that those children that have been found and used don't include the children. This is a horrible thought. I'm just going to warn you. don't include the dead ones that were used for organ harvesting and for sacrificial demonic rituals, of which I know nothing, but I'm assuming that there is a thread that is running through society that is talking about these things. So, that in the hopper. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the clip of the day.
The clip of the day. You want to hear it. It's the clip of the day.
And our clip of the day is Jane Fonda. Here she is.
That I personally have, because the Committee for the First Amendment existed and it was created in 1947 against the House Un-American Activities Committee, and then later against Joe McCarthy. What's happening now has never happened before in this country to white people. Black people have experienced authoritarianism, obviously, but our First Amendments are being destroyed. Our voting rights are being taken away. People are being arrested and deported without due cause, and on and on and on. This is not what happens in a democracy, right?
So let me get this straight, according to Jane Fonda. This has never happened to white people before. Happened to black people. White people are being deported. White people. Kevin, are you scared to death that you're going to lose your right to vote and that you're going to be deported? Jane Fonda is saying that's never happened to white people before in America.
If a deportation means I get like a free vacation for a little bit, can I pick where I get to go? I don't know. Could it be like the south of France, maybe? That'd be nice. Like, where did they put Napoleon? That was probably a night, like an exile.
They gave him a nice little island.
Yeah, a nice
Napoleon
island.
had his island vacation. Okay, when is the next New York Knicks thing? Apparently, last night they did something historical. What did they do?
Down by 29 points.
Last night they were down by what Vinny just said, 29 points.
Historic.
And came back. I was sitting here on the board and I blinked and Liz Radabali goes, "They're up 1." And I'm like, oh my God. We thought it was toast. Everyone was packing the bags, thought there was going to be a riot outside. But instead, there was tons of happy drunk people walking around wearing Knicks jerseys.
Biggest comeback in the sports.
Biggest comeback in NBA playoff history.
And so what happens now?
They play another game in New York on Saturday.
No, then San Antonio.
San Antonio Saturday. But if they lose that game, it forces the final Game 7. So
no, it'll be Game 6.
Game 6. Sorry, Vinny's way more well-versed on this than I am. But it forces that Game 6. So they kind of have a little cushion here, but you don't want them to get, too cozy. You still want them to pull it off here.
And so is New York, I saw last night scenes, I saw on the internet today, scenes of some guy with a Palestinian flag stomping all over a taxi, breaking up the taxi, rioting, and stuff like that. So are you guys is New York still having those great watch parties afterwards where people can riot and hurt each other and mob and do, the usual social stuff that's associated?
I don't think.
Not officially.
They're having all the bootleg watch parties like in McCarran Park in Brooklyn, Prospect Park. People are setting up like projectors, but they never miss an opportunity for a good riot. It's people that are not even Knicks fans going to these things, going, "Hey, look, a crowd, let's start something."
Well, my friends, my friends. The New York Knickerbockers apparently are doing quite well for themselves. Oh, that's right. They don't call them the Knickerbockers anymore. By the way, if you say Knicker too fast, you run the risk of saying something perhaps that you don't. Maybe that's why they just changed it to the New York Knicks instead of the New York Knickerbockers.
Thanks for listening to The James Golden Show. You can hear The James Golden Show Saturday mornings at 7. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here? On the biggest stage in the world, FanDuel is changing the game because sometimes your player gets subbed off and your bet goes with them. Not anymore. With FanDuel Super Sub, if your player's subbed out, your bet stays in. That's right. If your player leaves the match, your bet continues on with the substitute. So you're still in it until the final whistle. Visit FanDuel.com. Get started now. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel.
21 plus select states for Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino. 18 plus DCKYWY. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. 888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org/chat. Connecticut. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Maryland. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org. Call 800-327-5050. Massachusetts. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Text HOPE-NY in New York. Call 877-770-7867. Louisiana.
Visit FanDuel.com. Get started now. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel.